Hey everyone, Reese here, and welcome back to Reese Rambles, the second channel of Control-Alt-Reese that you thought was dead, but it's not. It's back for 2023. New year, new me, and all that kind of stuff. All that said, I just did an unboxing of a load of stuff that's just arrived from America that I bought from B&C Computer Visions, and I was really hoping that would be the first video on this channel for this year. But I decided to do a dual camera setup and use my brand new Pixel 6a as the second camera, and the video, it's no fault of the phone, it's entirely my fault for not testing stuff properly beforehand and deciding on the right settings to use and stuff. But yeah, the video that came from the phone was pretty much completely unusable, and to top it all off, the audio that I was planning on using also came out pretty much unusable as well. So I thought, rather than put that out, because I know it's a second channel, but I don't want to release stuff that's rubbish, I thought I would snatch victory from the jaws of defeat and make a little video about one of the items that arrived in that unboxing. So I've got these Atari XEGS games, and these were originally shrink wrapped. These are the four that arrived from B&C Computer Visions. They didn't sponsor the video or anything like that. They have no idea that I'm making this. But I bought these on their eBay store, which is called My Atari, and they always have loads of really cool rare and interesting things on there. Really worth keeping an eye on if you're interested in weird and wonderful Atari stuff. They actually sell these at quite reasonable prices. They don't sort of tend to sell stuff at top-notch collector prices, even though they've got boxes and boxes of shrink-wrap stuff. I guess they just actually want to sell it rather than just having it listed on eBay for stupid money. And the issue with these is, of course, the shrink wrap shrinks over time. I guess the clue's in the name. So this is Food Fight, and obviously really well-known classic Atari game. And as you can see, the box is kind of, I don't know if that comes across on camera really, but it's quite concave. In fact, I think that actually meets in the middle there, which isn't ideal. So yeah, that wrapped in shrink wrap, a lot of people will tell you that's worth a lot of money and because it's in pristine original condition, but anyone can buy a shrink wrap machine, so I prefer to flatten them and stick them in box protectors, and at least then they're kind of preserved. Cool thing about these XE games is the boxes are the same size as the original Atari 2600 games, which I have box protectors for, so that's what I'm going to be using for these. So we'll just go through those. Yeah, we've got Food Fight, Ball Blazer, quite a classic game that was released on a few Atari consoles over the years. Perhaps most famously the 7800, where the cartridge had the pokey chip built in, because of course the sound chip in the 7800 was a load of bobbins. And obviously the XEGS doesn't have that problem because it has a pokey chip, and that's just the back of the box. This one isn't too bad actually, it's a little bit squished, but still worth saving. Barnyard Blaster, which if you've seen that XEGS video that just went out on Control-Alt-Reese on my main channel, this is a light gun game. Of course the XEGS came bundled. In fact there's a little light gun icon on the back there. The XEGS came bundled with a light gun, and I believe there were two games released for it at the time, which were Barnyard Blaster and Bug Hunt, which is the one that I showed off in the video. I'm not sure if that's going to focus on that. Stop looking at my face! Anyway, yeah, Bug Hunt. Funny bit of behind the scenes information about that video actually. You may have noticed if you watched it quite closely during that light gun scene. The shots don't seem to hit. The bugs dying don't correspond with the actual shooting of the shots. And truth be told, I was actually holding the cable at the bottom of the gun because initially it just didn't work at all, and then I worked out that actually there was a bad contact somewhere, and I had to actually hold the cable in like a really specific way to get it to work, and it would register like trigger pulls, which is why the screen was flashing as I was pulling the trigger, but the vast majority, like 90% plus of the shots, just didn't work. So I guess the actual light sensor in the gun was also affected by that issue. But I really wanted to demo it on screen, so I kind of fudged it, and I think I got away with it. Maybe I didn't. Let me know down in the comments. Anyway, slightly off topic. The other game that I got from B&C Computer Visions, not sponsored, was Blue Max. Now, I've never actually played this. I hadn't even heard of it until I saw it on their eBay store. Copyright 1982, Broderbund Software Incorporated, for 1 player. And yeah, I guess it's like a 1942 type shooter. It's like if you look at the screenshots on the back, they're kind of a bit reminiscent of like River Raid or something like that, or, you know, like I say, 1942. So that'd be an interesting one to check out. I do play my games. If I'm showing a console in a video, I like to... Shut up. I like to have the original cartridge in the console. Obviously, I use flashcards and stuff most of the time, but on video, I just think it looks a bit more authentic and a bit nicer if you've got the original cartridge in the console, so that's what I tend to do. And I've also got 2 games that arrived previously, which are David's Midnight Magic. Shout out to David, if you're watching. And that seems to be a pinball game. It's another one I've never actually played. Like I say, another one I'd never heard of until I saw that for sale. I can't remember the name of the seller that I bought that from, but I think it was another US-based one. And this hardball, which is in quite a bad state. These were all shrink-wrapped. XE Games, for some reason, there's a lot of shrink-wrapped ones around, much like the Lynx and like the Jaguars sort of 20 years ago. Again, that's another one that meets in the middle. Yeah, so I want to get these flattened and I want to get them in some box protectors. I think I've got some brand new box protectors to assemble, but if I haven't, I'll just have to borrow some from some other games for now and get some of those ordered. So I think, without further ado, as they say on YouTube, it's time to get these sorted. So now's the moment you've all been waiting for, putting the game boxes into the box protectors. Let's go! Oh, bollocks. Yeah, so it turns out that these box protectors fit 2600 games, 7800 games and 2800 games, but they don't fit XEGS games because these are slightly bigger. So I guess I'm going to have to buy some more box protectors. But to be fair, the boxes are in far better condition now. They would be better off in some of these because they would pull all of the sides straight. So I will have to get some. But I'm really happy with how these boxes have all turned out. Even like Hardball, which was the one that was kind of the most squished. Obviously it's not 100% perfect, it doesn't look brand new, but it's certainly a lot better than it was. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the triumphant return of Reese Rambles. If you want to go check out Control Alt Reese, my main channel, there'll be a link to it sort of here-ish, I guess. And of course you can subscribe to this channel using this link here or the usual link down there. Thanks for watching and see you later.